Yeah! Get out of here. One more.
And I thought I was crazy.
What up, guys? Today, we're looking into the wild world of two-ton Tony Galento. From brawling with the great Joelouis to fighting an array of animals, including an actual real-life octopus, this guy's story is one for the ages. Let's dive in. Dominic Anthony Galento wasn't your average heavyweight by any means. A trash-talking, cigar-smoking, beer-drinking loudmouth. Standing at 5'8" and over 230 pounds, he wasn't built like your usual boxer. Known as the walking beer barrel, sports writer John Lardner once gave this description. The training grind has put Tony into a new kind of shape unknown to science. Mathematicians are thinking of calling it the Galentoid, which is the most poetic disrespect I think I've ever heard. Surprisingly, though, it wasn't his frame that gave him his iconic nickname, Two-Ton. Tony had a day job delivering blocks of ice, and after arriving late to a weigh-in, he unapologetically declared, "I was delivering 2 tons of ice." The press loved it, and the name stuck. But don't let his stature fool you. Galento could fight. Over his career, he racked up an impressive 111 bouts, with 78 wins, 56 of them by knockout. Galento always had a knack for entertaining, which is what led him to boxing in the first place. He started out in his teens at his local YMCA, where his aggressive, brawling style made him a fan favorite. But it was his personality that really made him shine. He once dismissed a reporter's question about Shakespeare with, "Never heard of him. Is he one of those foreign heavies? I'd moitered a bum," a catchphrase he would come to say about all of his opponents. Known for his unorthodox training methods, he claimed that beer made him strong and once bet he could eat 50 hot dogs before a fight. Supposedly, he downed 52 and still went on to win. Galento made headlines not just for his victories, but for his unorthodox style, his relentless trash talk, and his rather unique tactics. He was known to be a rough fighter, often using his head or elbows. His fight against Lou Nova was described as one of the most disgraceful fights staged, after Tony spent the majority of the fight thumbing his opponent's eye.
Got my thumbs caught in different eyes there.
He was also known to not shower and rub fish on himself before a fight to make clinches unpleasant for his opponents. But he was tough and had a bomb of a left hook. He built a reputation as a rough brawler who would fight anyone, anywhere.
After all, I can lick any heavyweight in the world. That goes for Joelouis, Max Baer, and the rest of them. All in one night in the same ring.
And in 1939, in his 105th fight, Tony finally got his shot at a world title against none other than Joelouis. The fight with Louis was one for the ages. In the weeks leading up to the bout, Tony made things personal, repeatedly calling Louis' home to declare, "I'm gonna moiter you, Joe."
He did call you a bum.
Oh, he called him everything.
I called him up and told him to get in shape because I'm going to murder you, bum. And he said to me, you better think right, he said to me.
Louis, usually calm and composed, later admitted that it was the only time in his career he genuinely wanted to hurt an opponent.
Well, to tell the truth, the Galento fight, I really didn't want to knock him out at all. What I mean, maybe past the 10th round, because he had been so bad and calling me all kind of names and everything. I really didn't want to knock him out until maybe past the 10th round. I really didn't want to knock him out.
That's not like you, Joe. I don't think he ever did that any other time.
The only time that ever happened. It's the only time I ever said it.
He did.
When fight night finally came, Galento showed why he deserved the shot. He didn't fight in his usual mauling style, though. He instead employed a very low stance in an attempt to make himself awkward to hit, and was trying to time his trademark leaping left hook. He had some success in the opener, managing to get to Louis at times. But Louis kept his composure, landing his usual clean, crisp counters. In In the second round, Louis' neater work made the difference as he landed 2 big hooks that knocked Galento down. Tony showed his true grit as he leapt straight back up and made it to the end of the round. It was in the third round when Galento's crowning moment came. Louis went for a left to the body, but Galento landed a perfectly timed counter left hook to the jaw that sent Joe to the canvas, leaving the crowd stunned. But Louis instantly got back up, though the shot seemed to somewhat deter Joe, as he was a little more reserved for the rest of the round. But Galento's joy was short-lived. Louis came out in the fourth round with a vengeance, pummeling Galento with multiple sharp, hard punches, causing the ref to stop the fight, leaving Tony in a bloody, beaten mess. In their post-fight interviews, Louis said he only went down through a lack of balance.
Congratulations, first of all, on the small fight.
Thank you.
Did that Galento man really hit you hard?
Well, he hit me hard enough to knock me down. I guess that's hard enough.
What'd you jump right back up without taking a count for, Joe?
Well, I wasn't hurt at all. It most like caught me coming in off a balance. See, that's why I wasn't knocked down. I wasn't solid on balance when I got knocked out. I was stepping in with left hook to the belly when he caught me with a left hook to the jaw. So he really didn't hurt me, so that's why I got back out.
You think Donovan was right in stopping the fight? The Galento was out on his feet?
Well, I can hardly tell you that. I don't know how Galento failed at the end of that fourth round.
And Galento, on his usual form, indicated that it was his trainer's tactics that lost him the fight.
They made me fight too much.
Wait a minute. Hold it right into the camera, Tony. Don't look at me.
They should have let me fight my own fight. I should have went out and fought a rough fight. Not like they want me to fight low and be careful. I don't want to be careful. I want to take a few and get one over and knock him dead. I hit him a leg punch and knocked him out. And knocked him down.
You think you had him when you knocked him down, Tony?
Sure, I only had a leg punch and knocked him down.
What are you going to do now, Tony?
I'm going to get in good shape and fight my own fights and listen to nobody.
Despite losing, Galento's performance and grit earned him a lot of respect. Later in life, Tony would go on to help Joe when the latter was having financial difficulties, showing a different side to his character, and would always speak highly of Louis in interviews.
Tony, you fought him. What was it like to fight
was
you?
the greatest. He beat me, and I beat them all but him. He's the only guy that ever knocked me down for no count, but he cut me up pretty good, and Monzal's solution blinded me. But Joe was a good puncher, fast puncher. He would have been a great fighter today, a great champion.
But Galento wasn't just a fighter. He was a showman. To keep his name in the papers, he pulled off some truly wild stunts. While on a tour in Australia, he had not one, but 2 fights against kangaroos.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my left, Tony Galento, the little man who floored Joelouis before he went the way of all the others. On my right, King Kang, a natural-born fighter from the forests of Australia. Tony and Kang are mixing it up in the match of the century, and the crowd is in a frenzy. Can you hear them, Mother? Kang is on his hind legs and he rushes in. What a man, what a fight! What a lot of hooey!
Afterwards, he claimed that the marsupials fought tougher than most of the bums I've fought. On another occasion, he went up against a 500-pound bear. 2-ton Tony would do anything to sell a fight, or a beer it seems. By the late 1940s, Galento had opened the interestingly named Nut Club, which in 2024 has a very different ring to it. A bar in New Jersey, where he could entertain fans and spin his wild stories. The bar became a hotspot for local fight fans and reporters. One night, when he was drinking at the bar with some reporters, and I assume they were very intoxicated, Tony came up with the idea for his craziest stunt yet. In 1946, Tony pulled off one of the most bizarre publicity stunts in history. He fought an actual octopus. Now, I've done a lot of research on this matchup, and there seems to be a lot of conflicting reports. But this is how it went down, based on news articles from the time. The fight took place in Seattle, USA, in a specially built tank outside of the city's aquarium. The octopus in question was a giant Pacific octopus, possibly named Oscar. It weighed in at around 75 pounds and wore 16-ounce gloves on each of its tentacles. So apparently, when the opening bell rang, Tony got into the tank and started to tussle with the octopus. Oscar threw 4 simultaneous left hooks that were all blocked by Galento. Or as Tony put it, they must have been lefts. They all came from the same side at the exact same time. Tony then blocked 2 more rights. But when the octopus seemed to start encircling him with all 8 tentacles, he decided that was enough and leapt out the tank, refusing to get back in, leaving the octopus as the victor. Afterwards, he remarked, "He never landed a glove on me, except underwater," and he demanded a rematch in home waters. Sadly, the octopus died 3 days later. In 1949, Tony planned the rematch with another octopus, but the Humane Society rightly stepped in and shut it down. After his octopus adventures, Galento continued to run his bar, where he regaled patrons with his wild tales. He remained a colorful figure until his death in 1979. Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more boxing stories. Until next time, keep your guard up and your chin down. Laters.